I took a cab into work this morning and on the way in I asked the driver, if you could speak to the Prime Minister today, what would you say to him? He said, I've been a Labor voter my entire life, but for the first time, I think I'll vote differently at the next election. He told me things have become too expensive, he's having to work 2 jobs, and he just doesn't believe the government is doing anything about it. I want to bring in Prime Minister Anthony Albanese now. Good morning to you. Prime Minister, this is your biggest problem.
Good morning,
People
Nat.
like this cabbie are losing faith. How do you respond to that?
Well, cost of living pressures are real, Nat, but that's why we have engaged with responsible economic management in order to bring inflation down whilst we've been delivering cost of living relief. And yesterday's figures showing that headline inflation's down from 3.5 to 2.7 is a good outcome. There's more work to be done, but we've done that whilst we've delivered a tax cut for that cabbie who would have got nothing under the previous scheme. That's why we've delivered as well additional support like energy bill relief for the cabbie. If he's got kids, cheaper childcare has made a difference. If he's retraining for a job, then fee-free TAFE has made a difference as well. Delivering back-to-back budget surpluses has been a major contributor to putting that downward pressure on inflation. We're in difficult global economic times, we understand that. And that's why we're also putting pressure on the supermarkets with the taking by the ACCC of Woolworths and Coles to court for the allegations that are over 500 examples of, between them, of products being lifted up in price and then lowered by less than they were raised by in the first place, and pretending that they were on special, essentially having a land of people. We know people are doing it tough, and when people are doing it tough, they'll be looking for value. They're looking for bargains when they go to the supermarket, and they should trust the signs that say prices are down or that it's on special, and that hasn't been the case for everyday products. So we are doing what we can, but we understand these are difficult economic times, which is why we're taking that action.
Yeah, look, we understand the supermarket investigation is well received. As far as inflation goes, it's artificial, isn't it, the power rebate? Because as the RBA has said, this does not mean that inflation is under control. The power rebate is going to end, and that's keeping it at one level at the moment. That's why they look at underlying inflation. They take out volatile stuff like fruit and veggies jumping around because of, bad crops. They take out insurance spiking because of different natural disasters. And they take out things like the power rebate because that will end. So what do you say about inflation still being at this level?
What I say is that if you exclude volatile, the figures that were released yesterday, which are known as month by month, but they're year to year, they're just released every month, that figure is down from 3.7 down to 3. That's a remarkable drop. That's heading in the right direction. The RBA's target band is 2 to 3. Every single one of the figures yesterday that were released, whether it was headline, excluding volatile, mean, all of them saw significant drops in inflation, and that is what has been happening over a period of time. It hasn't been smooth, the downward trend. It's been volatile itself, but what we're seeing is the trend heading in the right direction, and inflation is half what we inherited and 1/3 of where it peaked. Now, that is in part because of the back-to-back budget surpluses that we have delivered. That in part is, yes, energy bill relief, but also what we've done in cheaper childcare, fee-free TAFE, the deliberate policy design to help people whilst putting that downward pressure on inflation.
OK, well, we could argue about the government spending because they have a view on that, and the RBA has actually said the progress in reducing underlying inflation has slowed, so it's not all going down in one direction like we need. But let's go to negative gearing.
Well, that was before... With respect, Nat, too, those statements were before these latest figures came out.
Yeah.
These figures came out yesterday. Yeah, they came out.
She said that literally
yesterday.
a day before.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's go to negative gearing, because this is a topic that everyone's talking about. You've been pressed over concerns that you make reforms. There are claims that you've asked the Treasury on possible changes. We know it's been well reported that it didn't work out for Bill Shorten. Is there an argument now that you excuse me, that you change or at least tweak negative gearing, because you are losing taxes because of the tax concessions that you give people who are negative gear? Most people who do negative gear do it on established houses. It's not helping our housing supply. So is there an argument to actually look at it now? We're in a different time to the Bill Shorten time 5 years ago.
Well, when it has been looked at, Nat, it's been shown that it won't assist supply, and that's the problem here. Our Homes for Australia plan is all about boosting supply, whether it be building more public housing, whether it be our build-to-rent incentive that's before the Senate and being blocked by a coalition of the Liberals, the Nationals and the Greens, whether it's our Help to Buy scheme.
Would this help you get in with the Greens, though?
Which again is being blocked.
If you're heading for minority government, is this one way of helping you get in with the Greens?
No, I'm not slightly interested in the Greens' approach, because they're just blockers, not builders.
Well, what if you have to get in bed with them?
To do anything other than...
You might have to.
There will be no coalition from the Labor Party. I'm seeking to continue to govern in the Labor Party's own right.
And what if you had no choice?
Avoid what we're seeing. Well, the Greens are in with the Liberals and the Nationals, Nat, when it comes to housing policy, when it comes to blocking the Future Made in Australia plan, making more things here.
There are 20 seats in between. What if in May you're stuck in minority government and they're your ticket? No.
I'm not interested in that, Nat,
okay.
Because the Greens have just shown themselves to not be a constructive force. They've been opportunistic. Here they are when it comes to Help to Buy. That's about a shared equity scheme. That is that if you buy a home for a unit for $500,000, you can get $200,000 of that owned effectively by the government,
yep.
which reduces your mortgage. It gets you in a home ownership. It's their policy, and they're voting against it. They're
yep.
blocking it.
Yep.
What I'm interested in is serious policies as a party of government, not a party of protest.
OK. Prime Minister, we thank you for your time today.
Thanks very much, Nat.